He does not know about the Rizzler yet. It's okay. Today we're going to be watching AEW's Full Gear, so I thought it would be good to get caught up on all the storylines going on in AEW with Mr. Jim Cornette. That's the intro again. All right, cool.
Week they're doing another pay-per-view, or as some of the boys were still calling it until a few years ago, paper, P-A-P-E-R, the pay-per-view. They're doing another one. They're doing AEW next weekend.
Dude. Can we pause it for a second?
What? I mean, we are paused.
What kind of backwoods, one horse town, flyover country,
absolute bus stop,
absolute just bus stop toilet seat of the United States state is Jim Cornette from? It's got to be Ohio.
No, I mean, he definitely does have Ohio Riz. He seems Ohioan, but no, man, I don't know where Jim Cornette lives in the city, but I feel like it's closer to your end of town than it is my end of town.
I don't know, man. I don't think so.
Jake local reference.
You know why?
Local
because
reference.
one of my friends.
What?
I'll tell you later.
Okay. Was that one?
Well, we're not on live.
Okay. Say local reference.
When we get off live, I'll tell you more about it.
Jim Cornette seems.
I have more Jim Cornette information for you.
Okay. Seems like a J-Town guy. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right.
And then the WWE's coming back with their response to blow them out of the water. Survivor Series the following weekend, so it's going to get busy around here. But do we have any firm idea? I know they will add matches on the AEW pay-per-view until about 15 minutes before the countdown show is off the air. But do we have an idea of the main?
It's funny.
He is right. That is a factual statement. They have done that.
But I do love that, though. I love the fact that AEW is like, we have 16 matches, boys. What do we think? And Tony runs from the back. He goes, I got a 17th idea. And they're like, hell yeah, dude.
Do we have the time? Who's getting cut for?
Tony Khan's like, cut time? No. Pay-per-view will just be 7 hours long. You're welcome.
And the match is like an Iron Man, yeah.
I had the idea
Tony Khan just adds like a 30-minute Iron Man match for the card because he wants to. Like,
the Beast,
okay, dude.
The Beast Mortos texted, he can have a match against Hologram. Hell yeah! Tony Khan's like a 60-minute luchador Iron Man match.
Like, people aren't really into it while they're just dead crowd while people are walking out.
I would just say they're also like,
and then like by the time like 5 minutes into the match, everyone is just on their feet.
Just stunned silence as they're like, oh my god, what are they doing?
It's like everyone is just on their feet within 5 minutes of the match. Yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah.
It's like the Andrade effect.
Right.
On the program that we're going to be reviewing to our everlasting consternation, Brian, is
what are you doing?
Question long enough.
What are you doing over there? What's going on?
I was clicking my ink pen right here. See?
People
because
don't want to hear that.
Well, I'm trying to adopt a William F. Buckley kind of tone over here.
Is that what you're doing?
That's what I'm doing. He had a very sharp pen to go along with his sharp tongue. Or even a Dick Cavett was known to click a bic every once in a while.
Dude, who are these ancient people?
What is he talking about?
I don't know. He's talking about like announcers or something.
I don't.
I think this show is just for old people. So when he says a name from their past, they just point at the radio and go, ooh.
Like
the radio. They have the AM FM. They have the AM.
Who's he talking about? I don't know. I don't know these people.
No. And I'm sorry. I know there's going to be wrestling historian people like, you don't know about Earl Buckley? And you're like, no, dog. I didn't follow Louisiana Territory Wrestling from 1967 to 1967.
Dude, I like wrestling because I like wrestling because it's basically the TV version of medieval times. Like that's what it is. That's what wrestling is, and I love it for it.
Yeah, it's fun and it's fun. Like these people on the internet just complain about stuff, but like going to wrestling, I've never left a wrestling show and been like that. I had a bad time. Every wrestling show I've ever been to. Even the ones I produced, I was like, oh, I still had fun doing that. What?
Oh my god.
Dude, do not talk about
Oh my god. No. The real reaction is in the taskbar, apparently. Mr. 77 1,307 emails. That's
I'd be interested to see what there's probably some.
That's anxiety inducing. I would have to get rid of so many of those.
There might be some old OVW.
Well, I'll have you know, he looked like a big clicker the first time I saw
All
him.
right, listen, I don't know what the hell is happening here
But
this
I'm
week.
asking you, do we have a firm idea of what
email?
What's going on here?
the card is for the AEW pay-per-view full bore?
Full gear.
Full gear.
No bores are hurt in the process.
Well, it could be boring, but what are they showing us so far? What have they announced?
Well, the official AEW website has 10 matches listed.
Oh, Jesus
Or
Christ.
10 things listed, I guess I should say.
And we're a week, not even a week out, a little under a week out, so they'll have to add at least 5 more matches, right?
And it looks like Wikipedia may have the same 9 matches and 1 event listed here.
Matches? How many matches are on the card?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. Let's find. 12. Well, no.
Well, okay,
no,
okay.
2 of these are okay. It's still the same 10.
So it's 10.
These are
no. There's 9 matches. It's 9 matches total.
Oh my god. Okay, first of all,
3 pre-show matches.
Big Boom AJ with Big Justice versus QT Marshall singles match. The Rizzler. The Rizzler will serve as special guest timekeeper. Hell yeah, dude. I love that. And then Deonna Purrazzo and Anna Jay are gonna go out there and have an absolute slapper of a match too.
And then we're having a 4-way match between.
I told the Beast Mortis called.
Hey,
he was available.
You knew.
I know how Tony Khan thinks, and
Hey, they're opening the card with MJF and Roderick Strong.
that's fine.
That's a fine match.
So we think. Right? Anyways,
Let's see what Jim Cornette thinks.
On the 0-hour pre-show event,
he's gonna talk about Big AJ.
QT Marshall versus Big Boom AJ with Big Justice.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this some Rampage business going on? We know who QT Marshall is. Who is Big Bank Hank? What was?
Dude, he's 100,000 years old. He doesn't know he doesn't know the Costco guys. I'm sorry. This man is no longer culturally viable. We need to put him in the lake. Either
whoa.
Either he goes to the lake or he goes to the re-education camps. It's your choice. He's gonna paddle on a paddleboard all day as punishment.
Have you seen the movie, the A24 movie?
There's a lot of them. Did you
The
just
one with
named
the
a
woman.
studio? You were just like, have you seen a Paramount picture?
You know, the one where they go to Norway.
Midsummer,
yeah.
with Florence Pugh.
Yeah, he's just gotta. He's at that point in his life.
Dude, yeah,
he's at that age where
he doesn't know. I mean, he just doesn't. The world's passed him by. Anyways, Big Age. I want to hear what he has to say about it. Here's what I'm interested in. What Jim
I just looked it up.
Oh, and I want to mention this beforehand. Jim has worked probably with a guy like Big AJ, not specifically Big AJ, but a lot of guys who have just been a worker and then they wrestled as long as they could and then they got a family and got out of it, but still love professional wrestling. That guy exists in every single independent in the United, everywhere. The old timer.
Yeah.
And the old timer is going to get a shot to wrestle with his kid at a pay-per-view in front of maybe 10,000 people, maybe less. Either way,
probably less.
It's pre-show, right? Also, it's Newark, New Jersey. So if your car gets stolen, suck it. Anyways,
why are you being mean to New Jersey?
You know why? You know what they did.
Is this because of Jersey Mike's?
Yeah, it is solely.
Is this because they're $20 subs?
Well, no, it's because
they are expensive.
No, I was gonna say because BlackRock bought them.
That's bad. That's really bad because you had me in the first half and then you really had me in the second half.
Yeah. But anyways, but it's a cool thing that he's gonna get to wrestle with, and his kid's gonna get to be there, and that's a cool moment. And I think anybody, if you worked in the wrestling business, you'd be like, oh, that nice guy who used to just do jobs or whatever, wasn't really the biggest star or whatever. He's getting a shot. Hell yeah, dude. But I think Jim's just gonna be like, I don't know who he is, and he should be taken out back and buried.
You know, let's see.
Why is this guy beating QT Marshall?
Let's see. Well, let's
Who's
see
in the corner? Big fellow?
AJ and Big Justice,
Big Justice.
who are Andrew AJ Berfumo and Eric Berfumo, who was born in 2012,
He's just
known
reading off
online
the
as
cards.
AJ and Big Justice.
Pause it.
or as
Wait a
they're-
minute, he's
second.
wrestling a 12-year-old kid?
He's wrestling
a
a
12-year-old kid.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, he's gonna.
Okay.
QT Mars. Wait, WWE did that at WrestleMania. Remember Nicholas and?
But Nicholas kind of got over though, for real.
Yeah, but he had to drop the title. He had school on Monday.
That was the best part of the whole thing. It was hilarious.
So funny.
Like, but
What?
I feel like he mentioned the age because he's like, "Hey Jim, one of these people is a child. Don't be as mean as you could to the child."
And Jim is going to key on that and be like, "They're letting a kid wrestle this outlaw indie mud." Like he's just no nuance or understanding.
Well, that's funny though. But he's not making fun of the child.
He might call him fat.
Oh yeah,
Jim is mean.
yeah. But I mean, like mean to an adult versus being mean to a child.
Let's see.
As an adult,
That's
are
true.
different.
If you're mean to a child as an adult, you're a creep. You're so mean.
You're a bad if
You're a
you're
bad
just
person.
like mean to a
Yeah.
kid outside of playing video games.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm about to see that with my. Yeah.
Or
you are.
as the Costco guys.
Oh, dude, you're there, James. That's so sick. Yeah, you need to film the Costco guys pop. It's no longer the Road Warriors pop. It's the Costco guys pop.
The Rizzler pop.
The Rizzler pop was insane.
I bet the Rizzler has the biggest pop of the night, and that's
No joke. And when he hits whatever
Whenever
happens,
he
he hits
does
the thing.
done.
Dude, yeah, the Riz pop.
Are American social media personalities.
Yep.
A father and son duo. They found popularity on TikTok.
Look, they're just reading the.
and YouTube in 2024 for their videos at the warehouse store Costco.
We could do this, dude.
Also that
Wait
year.
a minute. Hold on. Pause here for.
Welcome to Brian Reed's an old guy Wikipedia hour.
We broke their story, dude. We broke their. They just read off Wikipedia for 3 hours.
You're cooked, Jim. We know the formula.
Jim isn't the wrestling historian. Wikipedia. I wonder if Jim Cornette edits wrestling Wikipedia pages.
That's the thing.
I want to ask him that.
I mean, no, I don't think he does, but he definitely reads and goes. I don't think Jim's that good with a computer.
For a second, tic tac, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. What? They make videos going to Costco and they're celebrities because of that. I go to Costco. Well, I used to go to Costco. Now I sometimes go to Sam's Club.
Do you think it's too easy to get booked for
Hold on,
wrestlers?
pause. Is Jim Cornette just mild flexing the fact that he has a Costco and Sam's Club membership?
He is.
Like, that's the most upper
Sometimes.
middle class flex of all time.
Yeah.
That's like, hey, I got memberships to 2 grocery stores.
And I can just choose not to go to one when I want to. That's funny. Jim's got that double club card money.
He might as well go to Erewhon or whatever. Erewhon or whatever.
Erewhon, that's right.
Yeah, like just go to Erewhon at that point, dude.
Jim-
Like buy the $20 water.
Jim's like, give me that Kylie Jenner shake. Who is Kylie Jenner?
What the hell? And which one is he wrestling? The 12-year-old and the father's in the corner, or vice versa?
Look, if you're gonna shame me for having YouTube Premium, I would like
No,
to.
I'm gonna shame you for having 77,000 unread emails.
Yeah, dude, stop. You're doxing me in front of the people. Look, I pay for YouTube Premium because the same reason that you try to pull something up earlier, go, please no ads, please no ads, please no ads. And they got me enough to where I was like, here's $9. If I ever have to watch an ad, I'm gonna slam the phone on the ground.
You know what?
And also I have the Pixel, so they're always like, what about YouTube Premium?
You know what? Fair. I'll let you have it.
Roman, what's up, buddy?
I'll let you have the.
I'm assuming Big Justice is the child. And
Well, Big Justice sounds a lot bigger than Big Boom AJ.
And Big Justice will be in the corner of Big Boom AJ against QT Marshall.
Dude, is Jim's head gonna fold in on itself when Brian tries to read the Rizzler's Wikipedia page?
Oh boy, I'm so excited for Jim Cornette. This might be the first time Jim Cornette ever hears about who the Rizzler is.
I don't know, because this was filmed 2 days ago, and it was on... Ooh, it might... Okay, we'll see.
Christ.
Is Big Boom training at QT's gym? Doesn't say that anywhere here. Also that year, 2024, they just became famous, apparently.
Yeah, they're...
Also that year, they gained more than 2 million followers on TikTok.
Wait a minute. 2 million people just all of a sudden decided, I got to hear these guys talk about Costco.
Yes.
They signed with the management company, Night, and released their debut single, We Bring the Boom.
Oh, good Lord.
Does it say anything here about wrestling? AJ created a TikTok account in 2022 while working for the regional manager, for a mortgage business. Portraying the character of mortgage muscles.
He really does. He
would
looks
explain
like
the
a
housing
market.
market. His video started to gain popularity. I've never seen any of these. His video started to gain popularity, and he began including his son Eric in them at his request.
I don't get it either, but you know.
The fact that... Okay, I want to point this out on their page. 70.5 million likes. You can have I got a TikTok right now that's popping off. It's got like 40,000 views and like 2,000 likes. The like ratio to view ratio is insane. So the fact that like, I don't know, 500 million people have probably seen them. At least one thing. I don't know how you miss it. Like you're just not on TikTok. That's
because
all.
He has cable TV.
That's true. He's watching
Jim's watching cable.
He's watching MSNBC.
He probably TiVos the stuff.
He's like
he TiVos like the wrestling shows to watch later on. I guarantee it.
He's like TiVo's last customer.
He is TiVo's only customer.
Starting with a video of AJ eating a hamburger in December 2022.
I want to listen to it and just let's go to the Wikipedia.
And then,
it was followed up by an even bigger video of him pooping the hamburger.
They are set to wrestle wrestling a cute. Yep, it says it here. All right, well,
okay, they stopped.
They're in the Full Gear 0 hour match. Also on the show, we have a Champagne Championship celebration.
Damn it, they didn't have he does not know about the Rizzler yet. Okay, wild take though. I think Jim, if he saw the Rizzler and saw the reaction that he gets, he would be like, this is something. Like this kid, he'd be like, okay, there's something here. You can't, you don't get pops like that if you're no one. You know what I mean? He would respect it,
whatever that may be.
America loves a big kid.
With Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yes,
I've seen that video. The champagne bottle celebration. It was a German video.
No, it was Vivid.
No, it.
These two old men.
These two gross old men, dude.
It was too vivid for Vivid. They would have got put in the penitentiary. No, the champagne.
Okay, first of all, if you're gonna make those jokes, if you're also gonna say you're put in the penitentiary, be like, I saw that one too. Yeah. Easy pickings, boys. I'm better at their hack jokes.
How many layers deep? That was just
these guys. They're not professionals.
That's worth tuning in on the zero. Mariah May and who?
No, also, he's saying the only reason this is a reason to tune in because they're just like they're gonna be doing adult things. You're like, no, they're not. It's on YouTube, buddy.
Let me just clarify because I don't want to get sued for false advertising.
No,
there will be no sexual activity with bottles. That's not what this is.
I'm recording the pre-show on this one. If they're doing the champagne bottle celebration, because nobody's topped that since 1987.
They're not doing that.
Also, that's how Jim feels about wrestling in general. Like 1987 is when it peaked. It was over after then. Anything else is less than.
For the record, this is not the pre-show. This is on the
And
main
it was
card.
even the Fatian first.
All right, listen, I don't know what the hell's happening with the Mouses for the AEW World Tag Team Championship.
People listen to
The
this
Champions
thing,
Private Party
Unironically, yeah.
versus the Kings of the Black Throne versus the Acclaimed.
This match is going to rule.
Versus the Outrunners.
And Jim's going to be upset about it.
Jim better not be upset. He worked with Shiloh, Truth Magnum for so long, and he's a good guy. He's a nice person.
He's gonna on him. Watch.
I think he likes him.
And FTR couldn't make that field. The parties and the blacks and the acclaims and the outrunners.
Well, they're very committed to helping get the Outrunners over.
Yeah.
Well, and a four-way, and boy, that'll just be wonderful.
More action on this card. Action, action, action. Will Ospreay, who,
James, you're right about morning.
oh, there is no title. Yeah, he's not a champion at all. Versus Kyle Fletcher.
Who is a champion,
Is he?
but his champion ain't on his champion. His championship isn't on the line. Didn't he have he was the one that got knocked down and they took, the other
What?
guy picked his belt up, wasn't he?
Can you
He's
pause
had
it
a
for
belt-
second? I want you to imagine. Jim Cornette is just a slightly faster talking Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah, you're right, dude.
Listen to his voice.
Oh my God, you're right.
Close your eyes and don't
Oh,
think about Jim
no.
Cornette and think about Joe Biden.
I'm serious
And
now.
it's
Come
just Jim Cornette is just Joe Biden. He's just a slightly faster talking Joe Biden. Just listen to him. It's just
Here
Joe Biden's
recently,
voice.
I don't. There's a lot of belts. I'm not sure.
I can't keep track.
Well, this is a
So-
big match. Ospreay versus Fletcher. I will have to say, if you're into the best of the modern style, this will
for
probably be
something
the.
called the Jim Cornette experience. Brian has talked a lot on this
yeah.
show.
Yeah.
This is not the Jim Cornette experience. This is
He's helping.
Jim Cornette gets explained things by Brian.
Best match on the show, I would have to think.
Yes, they're in shape. They're athletic. If they would restrain themselves from trying to do that is so far out of the realm of credibility or possibility that you get into their athletic struggle and the fact that they used to be friends and lived with each other and did all the things they did with each
Just
other until
rambling.
this is
He's just going.
sudden occurrence between
He's
them.
just going.
It came out.
He's Joe Biden.
He's wrestling Joe Biden, dude.
He is.
He's wrestling Joe Biden. Like, I mean,
Dude, him. But the thing is, so is kind of Meltzer. If you listen to Meltzer talk, he's like, yeah. Like he's just kind of meanders around. Wait, he might
is this
be,
just old people?
timeout? I think he might also be doing a little bit of the weave, the Trump weave. He's like, he's just like going. They're in shape. They're beautiful. But if they wouldn't go beyond the bounds of physical humanity, maybe I'd enjoy it more. He's doing the weave.
Why does your Trump impression sound like an impression of Shane Gillis's Trump impression?
It is like a bastard. It's a copy of the copy. I think Shane's is fun. I like Shane's. I think Shane's is really funny.
Shane sounds more like Trump than Trump sounds like Trump sometimes.
But the guy who does Saturday Night Live has like the mannerisms, and he's very good at it. I forgot his name, but he's very good.
Out of nowhere, apparently, on Ospreay's party. He had no clue it was coming. They tell a fun story. Yes, I'm hoping that somebody will sit down with them and say, "Here, try to tell a story through your match instead of playing a video game for 25 minutes."
Well, Jim, also on Full Gear, Roderick Strong versus MJF.
I mean,
Fine.
this is probably better than Adam Cole versus MJF. At least we haven't seen this, I don't think.
At least Roddy looks like a guy who's in shape.
I guess that's as positive Jim Cornette's going to get about something.
That's Jim like not really having anything to complain about too terribly.
He's like, yeah, actually, I kind of like both those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's like, we haven't seen it.
I've never heard Jim Cornette be like, I'm about AEW matches. He's never been like, I'm excited. Like that was the closest I think Or like when they were just saying like the Will Ospreay match, he goes, it's the best of the modern you're ever going to see of the modern style, which is like Jim's Cornette basically saying in a different tone, this is the best of modern day wrestling with these two guys right here.
And Kyle and Will
Ospreay,
both phenomenal wrestlers. So
let's power through this. We got to get to this.
They're
Tom Holland. He's not a big guy, but he looks like he's in shape, or he is in shape.
Well, he looks like he's fooled everybody. He looks like he's in shape.
What do you mean
the problem is that this isn't a money
People
match.
always like
and piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's not either the participant's fault. Roddy obviously has been booked like I don't know how to explain it. And the whole angle is bit up. And Adam Cole, but whatever's happened to him, the people are just like,
and that's what the last Roddy did.
Everybody's in the wrong position now. Then
Jim Cornette thought that was good heat, brother.
They were the last time that everybody was healthy together. It's just snake bit.
How will they know I'm
and
the
to keep
Rock
continuing this is just wasting everybody's time.
You know what's weird too? When MJF made his return, his first return earlier this year, he was still a babyface, and he confronted and beat up.
Okay, and I know this is just a side note. Paul Levesque sounds way more French aristocracy than Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
He really should have just gone with a shoot name.
He should have just went as Paul Levesque.
Yeah, it does.
Or Hunter Levesque.
Hunter Levesque is good.
Hunter Levesque would have been... That's a really good... That sounds like an actual, this dude is some French, Hunter family. They literally named their child Hunter Levesque.
Yeah.
Adam Cole, everyone was like, okay, good. And everyone said that's it. They're going to move on from this feud. They gave it some sort of illogical ending, but it was an illogical feud to begin with. And then when Adam Cole came back, they brought it back. And I'm sorry, this feud is hanging around MJF's neck. I know he's not even there.
Okay.
I'm guessing he's going to do the paper.
I will agree with him on that.
Yeah.
The whole MJF versus the Undisputed Era. Basically, MJF has gone on for way too long. I think that they are not wrong. This has been 2 years now almost.
Well, I mean, yes,
I get it. They've been in there's been injuries and stuff like that. But at this point, just move along. Move it on, guys.
I would have liked if they would have pushed it out. If they would have come back to this in a year, right? That'd have been fine. Especially
let these guys have feuds with other people because they're just coming back to the same thing they're doing.
Make them.
I can agree on that's agreeable.
Make them come back. The way I would like to have done it is make them come back together when Max and Adam Cole are both vying for a top title, and then they come across each other, and then it's not so much about the title anymore. These two guys have been working for a year to get to this point, but now that they see each other, those wounds are opened up again. They're fresh. You could have done something like that. Also, Max is now a Hollywood star, so
being in an Adam Sandler movie is not like Holly.
The man did Hidden Gems. How long are you going to disrespect him for? Hidden Gems.
They go right back to the film set.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone in that company wishes they were in that position right now.
Everyone in wrestling wishes they were a Hollywood movie star. Probably, yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's
more money, less wear and tear on the body. Okay.
But yeah, it's an MJF match just to have one.
And that's the thing is that there's no money match, as we'll get to when we go down the rest of them. But think back on their bigger pay-per-views. You had at one point MJF and Punk, or you had MJF and Danielson, or you had Sting's retirement match, a money match that you knew that not only was the same standard number of hardcore aficionados, but regular folks were interested in this. It was a story. It wasn't just because it was going to be a great match. It was a story.
I don't think Jim understands that, Tony Khan isn't about the money. I just don't think Tony Khan gives making money is secondary. As soon as AEW was profitable for makes enough money to sustain itself, anything beyond that's great, we'll just get more things. But I don't think that this type of wrestling is never going to be for the mainstream. It's just not.
This is what it is Jim Cornette's approaching it with wrestling promoter brain, right?
Yeah.
As how is this making money? And Tony Khan is approaching it from autistic wrestling fan brain.
Think about
where I want to see these two guys wrestle, and Tony Khan just has the amount of money
to do that,
to just make that happen. And while he still definitely probably cares about his bottom line and the money, that's definitely a concern for him and his family,
right?
Because it's their money. They run businesses. They know how to run a business. Like this isn't even their first business.
No.
After once you ran one business, it like the behind the scenes and numbers parts of it.
You understand
the HR side about it. That's all the same.
But I think about this though. If Jim Cornette had the money that Tony Khan had, there's no doubt in my mind that Jim Cornette would have his own wrestling promotion, and he would have people wrestle the way that he wants people to wrestle. You would have a time machine back to 1987, essentially, and that's what he would do. Tony Khan has that amount of money, so he's doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't so much think Jim Cornette hates Tony Khan. I just think they both like different things. It would be like if you had all the money in the world and you could produce hip hop music, and I had all the money in the world and I wanted to produce yacht rock, something just or easy listening tunes. Just because you have the money to do it and you do it doesn't mean the music and stuff you make is bad. It's just it's not the style that I would do if I had that money. So him thinking with wrestling promoter brain, he doesn't need to think. You need to think about, Jim, you need to think about AEW the way you would think about wrestling if you had $1 billion. And Jim Cornette would Frankenstein back together the Rock and Roll Express. He
wouldn't even need to Frankenstein them back together. He could just hire them right now.
No, I just mean he would buy new body parts. He'd be like, Ricochet, I'm buying your calves. And what? And they would do flips. They would, that's the thing. The Rock and Roll Express were doing crazy high spots for their day, and though time has kept going and the high spots have gotten higher and crazier.
Okay, so this is what I think Jim Cornette's issue isn't with high spots and people doing the Philippine shit, right? I think his issue with it is that everyone does the high spots and flipping now.
Cool.
It's cool. I think for him and for his time, it was that was relegated to specific acts were doing the flipping. Specific people were the Rock and Roll Express were doing the high. You had your high flyers or your big guys, and that kind of exists still in wrestling.
Yeah,
but it's not. Those archetypes in themselves are now wrestling gimmicks. Right. They're not something that you have on the card because you need it. It's someone's character now. The Outrunners are. It's a caricature gimmick, or even the two Top Flight or whatever. That's their gimmick, is that they do high flying moves and stuff. Though those things have become such ingrained parts of wrestling that it's just people's gimmicks that they can kind of pull off of now and make that part of their character.
But I think in that role
because everyone just does versatile stuff now,
right? But in that role, if you're Top Flight, you have to be better at it than everyone.
Yeah,
you have to be doing stuff that people are oh, you're on the forefront of it. Yeah,
with a build and people that you cared about and you understood why they were mad at.
If it's in Cornette's mind, you have one guy like Ricochet on the card.
Sure.
That's your acrobatic guy that you're gonna put with all the less acrobatic people to enhance his talent. Right. But you only have one of those guys on the card unless you're bringing in another guy to have a cruiserweight match, and that's it. And you might have two of those guys max on any given night, and they're only gonna be wrestling each other if there's two of them. And that's his idea of how doing all the acrobatic stuff. You contain it to one area on the card.
Yeah.
Because you're showcasing everything.
You had the Flippy Boy match.
Yeah.
At each other. They managed to achieve
Roman,
that
a few times. The boom?
Now they're just put together. Really, there's no money match. And there's top guys in the ring with guys they'll have.
The fact that Jim is saying that there's no big money match and the Rizzler is going to be here is showing how out of touch Jim.
Yeah, Jim doesn't know. I I know.
Dude, the Rizzler, I shit you not. People will probably get there early to see that match.
Because of the Rizzler.
If I was in New York or Newark, I would go early. I would I go early probably always? Yeah, I typically get to the venue early. I like going doing stuff. But like no double chunk chocolate cookies. Unlike Jim Cornette, we can't afford a Costco and a Sam's Club membership.
Unfortunately, I just gotta go to Walmart.
Good matches.
Go ahead.
Tell us some more of the good matches.
And actually, now that I think about it, MJF really doesn't have to leave the film set and fly anywhere. This is Newark, New Jersey. And he's filming in New Jersey from what I read.
Could they have a cinematic match on set so he doesn't even have to clock out?
Jim, on Full Gear, we also have...
I love that idea that MJF could ask like the directors of Happy Gilmore, like, can you film this? Like... It's not like holding a cell phone. It's a whole...
Jim, you've been on a movie set. You know that's not how it works.
Jim, I've been on a movie set with you. You know that. Unless Jim just thought they were filming the same match. This AEW Dark match sucks.
Have Swerve Strickland versus Bobby Lashley. That's interesting.
Here's the problem again becomes if they beat...
Pause it real quick. I've noticed no less than like 3 times on here, you can hear Cornette sigh. And I don't think it's Cornette sighing because he's like, I hate it. He's sighing it because he likes the idea of the match, but he can't say anything good about it because his fan base will rip him to shreds. Because he heard Swerve Strickland, who he knows is a objectively good wrestler, versus Bobby Lashley, who is also an objectively good wrestler, and he's like, not because he's upset about the match, but he's upset that he can't be positive about this.
I wonder what he's going to complain, because I think this build for this match perfectly fine.
That's what he's going to complain about, is the storyline stuff. Let's go. He's not going to complain about the wrestling.
Lashley in his first match, then they're out of their minds. And I thought it was early for Swerve to beat Shelton because they could have built Shelton as a bigger threat. If they're going to rush this like this, then Swerve's got to get beat. But if Swerve gets beat a lot or left laying a lot.
Yeah, not beaten.
So they've rushed into this and they've tried to do the standard thing of getting heat on something or somebody by Swerve beat Shelton. And then Lashley came.
Look up something right now.
What?
Is Cedric Alexander currently signed to NXT or WWE still? I think he is. If anyone in chat knows.
Yeah, does anybody know? I'm looking him up. Cedric Alexander is signed to WWE.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
came out and hurt locked him.
You just call it the Hurt Locker.
If Swerve wins this, then they've just wasted everybody's time.
Real solid.
This past weekend, as we are recording, I had Collision on the background monitor in the office while I was working. I think Svengoolie may have been on the main monitor. No, because I wasn't really into the movie, so I turned it off. But Shelton Benjamin, as far as...
Who is Svengoolie?
Svengoolie? He does he has a show where he watches like old monster movies.
So like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
I'm concerned. Worked a far too competitive. This should have been ended a lot quicker. Come on, guys. End this match with Commander.
Oh, good Lord.
The guy who walks on the ropes and runs on the ropes and does his move off the...
You're just explaining lucha. You're just explaining the style.
Well, he has to do that to Jim Cornette because
Jim
only watches wrestling that was made in a tri-state area between the years of 1973 and 1987, and nothing else.
And they didn't have any luchadors back then.
Yeah,
the ropes while he's standing on the ropes while you're helping him balance himself. That commander of that fame, that commander
of that fame, of that ilk.
Well, Jim, who do you predict will win? Bobby Lashley?
He better.
Yeah, I didn't even ask you that. Who do you think's going to
win? I agree. It's got to be Bobby.
Bobby has to win.
He has to win.
Yeah. I think interference is 100% going to happen, and that's the win's going to happen, which is fine. They have to protect Swerve somehow in this, but Because I do agree
Or-
that they shouldn't have had Shelton. Shouldn't have. They just kind of fed Shelton to that was.
I think Shelton does like the henchman.
Yeah,
But also you're trying to put over Big Swerve. But then they gave Benjamin some wins beforehand.
yeah.
So I'm conflicted because Swerve is one of their tippy top guys. And I think this is maybe what if they just Brock Lesnar, John Cena it tonight, and they just have Swerve get crushed by Bobby Lashley?
I would be fine, and
I'd be into it. And have him
just like break his psyche. Yeah,
dude, bane him I'll break the bats back in the spirits. I can't,
break. Yeah, whatever. Do your
the darkness. I'm gonna fight Shia LaBeouf on the set of Lawless. I took too many cycles to get this big, and now the guy from Even Stevens must pay. Yes.
Oh geez, dude. Okay, let's listen to what old man Corny has to say.
All right. Yeah, we are T-minus 5 minutes away from AEW's
To win MJF Roderick Strong.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Unless that movie set is going to be a shoot like Heaven's Gate and it's going to take the next year and a half, MJF needs to win this.
Heaven's Gate, the cult. All right,
There's a movie called Heaven's Gate.
okay. I want to see what he says about Moxley because it's time to get to the finish.
Hobbs has returned. He's not on the show.
In the arenas consistently over the past several weeks, MVP and the Hurt Syndicate.
Can you all put chapters in your stuff?
But in doing that, Lashley gets the upper
Yeah,
hand.
like honestly, whoever
Awkwardness
does this is
of-
amateur hour.
Yeah, dude.
How
Come on.
quiet it gets during the Mercedes Moné matches. I want to.
What are you doing?
It's the week of the pay per view. They may add another
Well, but
6
also,
matches.
wait a minute. 1, 2,
Look at the
3,
description.
4.
Yeah.
They probably do just. Oh, there's.
Listen to this week's podcast. No, they don't.
Look at the transcript.
transcript.
Show transcript.
Oh, that's what's up. Oh Lord. Search this transcript. I've never actually used this. This is cool.
Yeah, you should be able to like
Toggles. Travel through time, house, whatever.
Control F, or well, whatever you do to search on a Mac. Moxley
Mox.
or MOX.
No. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Hey!
I know what I'm doing for once.
Dude, that was cool. Nice job.
John Moxley versus Orange Cassidy.
They're actually going to do that as the main event.
Because Tony's figured stuff out. This is him figuring stuff out.
Oh, boy. There's no co-match or co-main event match that,
With who?
you know, with anybody, well, that you could say, okay, Backlund's on top, but look, it's Bruno and Zabisco
Who?
underneath, or what, you know,
Yeah,
whatever.
Who's that person?
Who? I mean, I understand. I know every single person they're talking about. But every single person they just mentioned has not been relevant
in decades.
since the 70s. That's 50 years ago. Dude, 50-year ago reference. That's like in 19 if you were in 1999 talking about wrestling, you're referencing things from the 40s. You're still like talking about like George Hackenschmidt.
Who?
Yeah.
Actually, I know who that is. He's also one of the Golden Age bodybuilders.
Yeah. George Hackenschmidt's like
Incredibly, like we
He's-
still know who he is.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
Who do they? I mean, Takeshita's not on the show. He's the international champion, but
he's wrestling Ricochet.
Danielson's gone.
Danielson's gone.
He's
The Bucks,
On
for
a
Bucks
break.
fans, they're gone. Omega, he's returning in New Japan before he helps save
Well,
AEW.
yeah, he said they don't need him in AEW right now. They're
Yeah.
doing so good, they don't need him.
Although you never know with him what's real and what's, his
Well,
bullshit
exactly.
online character. But beyond that, who? Miro? Powerhouse Hobbs has returned. He's not on the show. I guess Ricky Starks could have come back for the show, but they got nothing for him.
But he still likes Cody.
I saw something. I saw something earlier today that Danhausen is still under contract.
dude, that's all you all didn't really even talk about the match. And yeah, then they just laughter. Orange Cassidy. All right, talk about the match, boys.
It's Orange Cassidy.
What? Yeah. I mean, that's I was going to say the company
win.
joke versus the company mascot, maybe. However you phrase it. What? This is
Yeah, I mean, there's no star power, and even Ospreay, like you said, he was in the main stuff. It was him and MJF. This was a big part of the show, and I'm not.
These guys. I've watched more Jim Cornette.
Why?
Because I'm reacting to him. Because I think it's interesting to provide a counterpoint to the dumb things he says. He has he has 438,000 subscribers. He has so many subscribers. How many people listen to this and think that this is what professional wrestling is about? How many people think and watch this stuff and just repeat the same shit? And it's chronically online nerds. It is. My goal is to absolutely decimate the internet wrestling community. I think the internet wrestling community is full of the worst, just the worst type of people. Because when you go to wrestling, when you go to a match, when you go to the indies, when you go to a WWE show, you go to an AEW show, no one talks like this.
Oh, one person does.
What, when Jim goes?
No. Remember when Lexington? That one guy that sat in front of us?
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, you blocked that memory out.
Dude, yeah, and you know what?
It was the worst experience part of the show.
That guy sucked. I got COVID, and that guy was the worst part of the show. Dude, that guy sucked. He would yell out smart mark things, and it happened at one of the AEW show at Freedom Hall. That's where it was, because the guy sat right up in front of us, and he was wearing like an MJF scarf or something.
No, he's wearing a Macho Man, like
the chalk jacket. Yeah, the chalk line jacket. But he had a MJF scarf on. I remember that. But he was yelling out stuff like at Tony Storm or something like, "Go back to NXT," and you're like, "Dude, you suck." It got to the point where he kept yelling smart mark things, and every time he yell something, I'd boo him loudly, like directly at him until he would stop. It was the worst thing. Like, it was a comment section come to life. And if you're ever...
It was awful.
Yeah. No matter what comment section, I don't care what part of the internet you're on. If you're that person, like, okay, I'll accept a grab his and twist it guy. Okay, you're always going to have it.
It's me.
It's you. Right. The guy's going to do his thing. Okay, you said the thing, right? Whatever. But these people in the internet wrestling community are just absolute dork and a halves, and I just can't stand them.